In this video, I wanted to talk to you about the two options that every single one of us have. So if you're looking at me and you notice there's a red bump on my nose, that's because
I told you! My baby beat me up!
my son threw a ball and it hit me right in the nose. So now that we got that out the way, I wanted to share a story about my first job out of high school. I didn't have any experience, but still, I had a degree. Put a little resume together and I started applying places. So in the newspaper, I actually found an ad that said, hiring supervisors, no experience necessary. I was like, that's it. That's the one that I want. I want to be a manager. I want to be a supervisor. I want to boss people around, tell them what to do, and chill, relax, and take it easy. I went for an interview, and I got hired on the spot. So I was excited. The rest of the other recruits were excited. And then he starts telling us what the job actually is. Little did I know that I was gonna become one of those guys that you see on the street that is selling fake cologne. They call it rendition cologne, but really it's a knockoff cologne. That's why he says, I'm hiring managers, no experience needed, because I'm gonna train you to know what to do. I don't like talking to strangers. I don't like starting up those conversations. I will now, but it's still not my strong suit. After about doing this for 2 weeks, they said we're gonna go on what's called a satellite. A satellite is where you go from either Houston to Austin, or Houston to San Antonio, or Houston to another city, because there's so many people doing it in Houston at the moment. We want to kind of move it around. What they didn't tell us is the rooming situation. At the end of the night, we come together, all 5 of us, we put our money together and we rent a hotel room. But the room only had 1 to 2 beds for 5 people. And whoever sold the least amount was gonna be the one to sleep on the floor. Terrible, terrible experience. And so it's safe to say I slept on the floor about 2 times. So here's where the lesson comes in. Obviously there's a bunch of other lessons you can learn. Don't go on a trip with a bunch of strangers. Stay away from pyramid schemes. Watch out for the ads that say help wanted, hiring now, managers, no experience needed. In the midst of this, God gave me this illustration, and the illustration was of a bird inside of an egg. So the bird is about to hatch and he starts like pecking at the shell, so it starts cracking. And at this point we all have 2 options. This bird inside the egg can crack open the shell, it can come out of the shell. It's gonna be terrifying. It's gonna be an environment that's new to it. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna probably try to learn how to fly and fall sometimes. It's gonna be something new. But if the bird comes out of the egg, it will become something it's never been. It would soar and see sights that it's never seen. It will experience things that it has never even dreamed of. But the other option is, it's a little bit terrifying outside. I've never been out there. I like it in my comfort zone. In this egg, I was nice and it was warm. I know what's expected. It's kind of dark, but I'm used to that by now. So I'm gonna stick in my comfort zone and I'm gonna stay inside this egg because it's all that I know and it's what I'm used to. Those are the 2 options. If the bird steps out of the shell, it can soar and do what it was created to do. The other option is to stay inside the shell and eventually it's gonna die. And we have to decide, what are we gonna do in our lives? Are we gonna break out the shell and overcome fear by taking risks? Or are we gonna stay inside of our shell where it's comfortable, where we know what's gonna happen, and eventually we're gonna die? Our dreams are gonna die, our hope is gonna die, future of what we were created to do. So are you gonna be the bird that breaks out of the shell? It's gonna be something new. It's gonna be something terrifying. It's gonna be something you were not trained for. It's something you were not prepared for. You weren't expecting, but it's gonna be life. It's gonna be something you never even dreamed of. There's a quote that says, if we want new results, we have to do something new. So even though it was a terrible, terrible experience, I don't know if my parents know about this story, but it was a terrible experience. But in the midst of that, I learned that I have to break out of my shell. I have to do something different so that I can be successful. I can't let fear of talking to people who are just like me. They have fears They have needs, they have wants, they have desires, just like me, just like you. So this week I want you to take some time and think about those two options. Think about where they play a role in your life right now. Is it your career? Is it your hobby? Is it something that you're doing with your family? Is it your finances and you're trying to get your finances in order to get debt free? I always bring it back to our dreams. Is there a dream that we've given up on because we were afraid? And if that dream is starting to boil up again, I encourage you to start thinking about it. Start writing it down. Start writing down, what would it look like if I were to accomplish this? What do I know? What do I need to learn? Who can help me accomplish this? Who do I know that can help me on this? Do I need to pick up some books? Do I need to watch some videos? Do I need to spend more time reading than YouTube or Facebook or Netflix or whatever it is? What do I need to cut out of my life so I can be successful? Because being successful is a lot of work, but it's worth every second of it. There's a quote, it says, "We must all suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is discipline weighs ounces, while regret weighs tons." The good thing is you get to choose which option you're gonna take. You get to choose which pain you want to experience. So as always, if you like the video, please do me a favor, thumbs up button, subscribe, click on the bell notification so every time I drop a video, you see it first. And if you have any questions about my story or anything else that relates to fear, relates to overcoming, relates to entrepreneurship, relates to finding your purpose, relates to doing what you were created to do, definitely hit me up. Leave the message in the bottom. I make sure to respond to every message. I make sure to respond to every email, every text, and share with other people that you think will enjoy this message and will join us on this journey as we continue to grow. Peace.